Good afternoon again. I'm still laughing a bit because as we walked here, Phil, who does the camera work, was telling me about a conversation he had earlier this morning with his neighbour, which started off, guess what, with coronavirus, and then went on to cancer, and then went on to money and how we're all going to live without the economy working. And Phil said, well, is it extraordinary how on a lovely spring day like this, people just fill their minds with these negative feelings and emotions? Why do we do it? Well, why indeed? Isn't it extraordinary? Well, let's try to unpack it a little bit, shall we? Here am I, standing, just listening, feet on the ground, which, as I've illustrated to you so many times, has the immediate effect of bringing us into the present. In the present, when our attention is out there, look at that sweet little butterfly flitting around, we forget to think because our attention is on what's immediately around us. And although the mind doesn't stop working, our attention isn't on it. So as far as we're aware, it doesn't bother us. The thoughts are like our digestion or our blood circulation. It's just something that's ticking away inside us and we're not unaware of it. So all these problems, all these negative things, they're just out of the picture. We're not unconcerned about it. And gradually it dawns on us that there's another reality. There's a reality of things being as they actually are, the here and now. And this other world of fear and negation, which is engineered and created within the mind of man. You could say that the natural world is from the mind of God, is natural, and the world of man is unnatural. One is problematic, the other's just simple, straightforward, enjoyable. Which do we prefer? Or has one become so totally dominant in our lives that we've simply forgotten about the other, that there's anything better? And so we literally, to all intents and purposes, don't know any better. And the people that write our media often are in the same predicament. So the blind lead the blind. And what happens when the blind leads the blind? We just both fall into the ditch, don't we? Which in the case of man is very often the bottomless pit. Not only a nice little ditch with frogs and things in it, but a bottomless pit, my dears. It's outer darkness of demonic howling. It can be absolutely dreadful, can't it? And yet come back here to this utter simplicity of being present, which even if the sun wasn't shining, is peace, and a sense that all is held, all is in order, all is contained. Even the craziness of man is contained, albeit a faraway nightmare. All is one, all is in order. God's in his heaven, and all's right with the world. And within that overall all rightness, there is like a little dark shadow that man creates out of the darkness of his own mind, which he calls a problem. But you see, in the real world, which is this, problems, the answer to every problem is that there is no problem. It's no more real than the fantasy in the mind. We just create these things, and then we project that out into the world, and it crystallizes and becomes what we call a reality. But this isn't the real world. This is a man-made world superimposed on the real world. And this is where we live and where we have our problems. And we need to turn back, come back to reality. And the first step in doing this is very often just feet on the ground, sit on the chair, listen and look. Just look out the window at the sky if there's nothing better. And you'll immediately feel the presence of another world, where the problems of man just melt away. So fear not. And it would help if when, the more we repeat these negative things, the bigger they get. It's an absolute law. I remember being told once that the more hospitals we build, the more sick people we'll get to put in them. And it's an absolute fact. The more we concentrate on coronavirus or something like this, the bigger the monster grows. Same with all these other monsters of the mind. The more we dwell on them, the bigger they get. The less attention we give to them, the more they settle down into their natural place among the balances of nature. Try it for yourself and see. Smile and the world smiles with you. God bless you, dears, for another day. Bye-bye.